What's up guys, it's CG. So this is going to be a thorough review of Interlude Man by the House of Amouage. First, I'm going to give you guys a rundown so you have a general idea what the fragrance is about. Then I'm going to share how users rated the scent profile and the performance. My wife and I are going to share our impressions of it. And finally, I'm going to share my overall opinion having worn it. Without further ado, let's get this started. To describe this fragrance, I would say it's like the smell of oregano with an incense smokiness, and it has a bit of an ambery blue sweetness to it. It really has this Middle Eastern vibe, very unique. There's nothing else like it. Mainly that oregano. It's such a standout note in this fragrance. The notes on Amouage's website indicate that it's somewhat complex. It has 29% oil concentration. It goes through 6 weeks of aging, 3 weeks of maceration, and 3 weeks of maturation before being put on the shelves. On average, it received a scent rating of a 7.8. About 2 out of 3 people would give it an 8 or above, and about 1 out of 5 people would give it a 6 or lower. The rating distribution here indicates that it's a very polarizing fragrance. That's not a surprise to me at all. When I first smelled it, I probably would have given it a 6. I didn't find it repulsive, but I thought it was weird. It kind of smelled like how I'd imagine a hookah lounge in an Italian restaurant would smell with the oregano. Like the oregano just threw me off. It didn't smell bad. It smelled good, but it also was just kind of a bit weird, and it seemed like something that wouldn't be wearable. But now I'd give it a 10. I think it's a masculine masterpiece, a beautiful smoky scent. I wear it to the workplace, and I absolutely love this fragrance, but it's one that really had to grow on me, and I imagine some people just don't even want it to grow on them. It's just repulsive to them. So it's one of those artistic niche fragrances for sure. For longevity, I got an average rating of a 9.4. Everybody's in agreement pretty much. This stuff just lasts all day. It's eternal. More than the workday, hard to wash off of clothes. That's my experience with it. It's the same story with Sillage. Pretty much everybody agrees this stuff projects. Yeah, it projects. It lasts a really long time, but the scent is polarizing. Could feel a bit out of place to wear it out in public. But overall, it grew on me. I think it's a beautiful fragrance, and I think it deserves the respect that it receives. As a side note, this fragrance is nicknamed the Blue Beast. It has intense projection. It has a very complex and bold scent, and it has a dark and mysterious character that some people find to be intimidating. I never got that from it, but a lot of people just think this one's over the top, really strong and beastly. All right, so this is going to be a hard fragrance to review because to me, it's such a work of art, and also have such a turbulent relationship with this one. Started off really didn't care for it much at all, and now I love it. I think it's an absolute 10 and a masterpiece. To describe the scent profile and what I get from it, it's very complex. Everybody's going to get something different. I don't feel like this is one that you could really understand the scent profile through reviews or anything like that. Like when I first got it, I was pretty confused. Not that the reviews I read were totally off. It's just really hard to paint an accurate picture of this fragrance. But if you have access to oregano, whether you have it in a kitchen or anywhere, and you just smell oregano, to me, that's the heart and soul of Interlude. Like, that's a big aspect of it. And to me, it's actually what turned me off to it initially, but now it's one of the things I love about it the most. So that's the crazy thing about it. But on the opening, I actually get a cherry Coke-like sweetness with oregano. Like, if you can imagine those two things together, that's what I get just as soon as I spray it on the opening. Pretty quickly it dries down. When it dries down, I get an incense smoky smell with the oregano. The cherry Coke completely goes away, and I'm left with this ambery, almost dark blue kind of smell. It's kind of hard to explain how you could smell colors, but for some reason we do. Like if you think of fragrances like Chanel Blue or Sauvage or just the blue fragrance category, it's hard to explain why it is you smell blue, just like it's hard for me to explain why I smell blue with Interlude. And it could have to do with the branding. A lot of this stuff is psychological, but for me, I get an ambery blue that's not like a typical blue fragrance. It's different. It's very dreary and dark and almost mysterious, but it's this ambery kind of sweetness that to me is a light blue with the prominence of oregano and smoke. And the smoke in here is really pretty accurate. That's one of the things that surprises me about the fragrance, is how the smoke just smells almost like real life smoke with that oregano and with that ambery blue. The whole thing just creates such a unique vibe. It's definitely got a Middle Eastern kind of vibe. It almost smells like how I'd imagine like a Middle Eastern bazaar would smell, where they're trading spices and they have incense going, and just that whole atmosphere with this dark blue kind of ambery, almost sunset mystical vibe. When I first smelt Interlude, I read all kinds of things about this one, that this one's the one that's so dark that if you wear this, you're gonna bats for like a week. Everybody making how galactic, how dark and mysterious it is, and how it's like the devil's fragrance and this, that, and the other. And also people touting that it's a masterpiece, that it's their ultimate favorite. When I first sprayed Interlude, I really didn't understand either side of it. I didn't really understand it at all. To me, it was a very confusing fragrance, because on one end, I wasn't smelling something that smelled bad. Like, it didn't stink to me. I was smelling something that smelled good in a way, but it didn't really smell amazing. And it also just, I didn't get like this is some creative masterpiece either. I just kind of felt like, really? Like, this is the one that people fuss about so much? Like, this is the one that either you really love it or you can't stand it? It didn't feel like that to me. I felt almost more neutral about it, and if I were to 1 to 10 it back then, I probably would have given it a 6. Like, I didn't think it stank, but I didn't think it was really great. It was just kind of this indifference. Well, time went on and I got really into Interlude Black Iris. At first, it was kind of the same emotion, but it was easier for me to cross over, because to me, Interlude Black Iris smells more good, like stereotypically, because the oregano and the smoke is dialed back. It's still there given the fragrance character, but it really has this violet, beautiful, fresh kind of smell with that, giving it some character. I got really into Interlude Black Iris, and then I revisited Interlude Man, okay? And when I revisited it for reviewing for this channel, I was like, I know I need to wear this one heavily. I'm not going to understand this by wearing it 2 or 3 times. This isn't a simple fragrance. And I also knew I was going to have to wear it in a lot of different environments, including to the workplace. So that's exactly what I did. Just started wearing Interlude like crazy, wearing it to work, wearing it out in public. And I fell in love with it. I don't know how to explain that, but I really did. And now that oregano part is just something I love so much, and it has such a resinous quality to it. It does feel out of place, but it really kind of highlights an aspect of masculinity where it's like, I don't really care what other people think about me. It's just a manly smell. And honestly, I think it smells great. So I don't think it's something that's really offensive. I don't think it's so dark and crazy like people make it out to be. Having worn it to work and got opinions from my coworkers, nobody really thinks that it just outright stinks. Everybody thinks it's interesting, it's unique, it's something different. A lot of people just jump to trying to describe the scent. Someone said it kind of reminded them of cinnamon. Someone else said it kind of smelled like barnyardy. But I feel like when people around you are trying to describe a scent, that's because it's complex and interesting. I think it's more of an interesting fragrance. It does feel a bit out of place. And I feel like I'm a hypocrite as a reviewer, because I was pretty hard on Ombre No Made, saying that it's way too strong and it's completely out of place. What I think it boils down to is I just don't really like the scent of Ombre No Made. So I was kind of like looking for reasons to not like it, because Interlude Man is just as out of place. It's just as loud and bizarre. But since I love Interlude Man, I've found a way to almost frame all those things as a positive. Just that this is like a super masculine, bold fragrance that has a lot of character, personality, and I just love the smell. To me, it's an absolute masterpiece. It's a 10. I already have Interlude Black Iris, so I think it'd be a bit redundant to get Interlude Man, but I have a decan of Interlude Man. I'm pretty happy with that. I have tried Interlude 53, and to me, Interlude Man and Interlude 53 smell basically the same. I would say Interlude 53, I like it just a slight more, but I would also say the difference is so minuscule. If you blindfolded me and had me smell Interlude 53 and Interlude Man, I don't know which one I would actually pick, and it would probably change from month to month. So given the price difference and the history of Interlude and how it's really what made the whole profile popular, if I were to go for a bottle, I would go for the Interlude Man over the Interlude 53. I don't think it would be redundant to have Black Iris and regular Interlude. I think regular Interlude is more of a scent that I wear for myself. really highlighting that oregano and that smoke and that unique character that Interlude has. It feels a little out of place going to the workplace. Like, I feel like Black Iris is just more wearable. I like them both equally. I just feel like I would wear them for different reasons. And as a big fan of the Interlude DNA, I would probably go and have both of them. If you're interested in Interlude, definitely sample it. Definitely get a bigger sample. Get a 5 mil, because this is one that you really need to give a chance. If you smell it and you're like, heck no, I never want to smell like that, I don't appreciate it at all, that's fine, do you. But if you smell it and you're like me and you think, wow, that's like not that great, it's like a 6, just spend some time with it. Let it soak in, and I think that it's one that just really grows on you at some point. It just has so much character. There's nothing else like it out there. And maybe I'm going just nose blind to certain notes and picking up more on the ones I like. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love Interlude Man. I think it's a masterpiece. And I used to not understand people that would say it's a masterpiece. What makes it a masterpiece to me is a whole relationship. Like, from when I first tried it and didn't like it to now, and the challenges. And I remember feeling nervous the first time I wore it to work, but I did anyways, and it brought out that confidence. It almost feels like having a relationship with the fragrance. So it's like a whole journey that I had with it that you don't just get from just daily crowd pleasers. So that all, and then the oregano and how unique it is, and that there's nothing else like it out there. The character, the performance, the vibes it gives, that really nice, calming, Middle Eastern, smoky vibe. There's just nothing else like it out there. So I think it's an absolute masterpiece. But it's not like I smelt it and right away understood that. It really came out of a relationship that came from giving it chances.
Okay, let's do it. So let's begin with
Amouage Interlude.
Amouage Interlude. So it smells really good, really masculine. I don't think this is something like a girl can wear and be like, oh, in between. No, this is clearly for a man. I smell some cinnamon and mixed in with like greens and woods, if that even makes any sense. But that's what my brain says that I'm smelling. It might not even be that. It smells like something. I just can't think about what it is.
Could be oregano. Are you thinking it's oregano?
Maybe it's oregano, but now you said oregano and I'm thinking another spice, another herb.
The devil's lettuce?
The devil's lettuce. It smells a little bit like the devil's lettuce. A little bit, but not too crazy. But yeah. The more I smell it, or maybe it's the dry down. As it dries down, it starts giving a lot of that devil's lettuce essence. That being said, it smells great. Good. I think maybe because of that similarity to that scent, maybe this is something that would require a specific aesthetic, maybe more earthy, more informal or casual. And yeah, any age, 20 and up. I think it will work year round. I don't think this would be bad in the heat or the cold or anything. It's good. But keep in mind, and as it keeps drying down, it starts smelling more and more like the devil's lettuce. So if you're not into that, then you won't like this. Personally, me personally, I wouldn't wear it to my workplace, for example, but out and about in the weekend, for sure. Okay, so all of that being said, I give it a 7. Definitely there's similarities definitely they are first cousins. They are first cousins. Are they twins? No, but they are first cousins. Only that this one, 50, was it 53?
Yeah.
53 does not have that devil's lettuce scent. And what was the name of the other one?
The interlude regular.
And interlude regular does have that, and it's more pronounced as it dries down. So similar. It's like the version of this, but without that particular note.
So Interlude Man is 100% for me. Probably one of my favorite Amouages. I don't plan to go run out and get a bottle right away, but when my decant runs out, I'll probably go for a full bottle of Interlude Man, have that and the Black Iris. I don't really see it necessary to get the 53. I'm not that big of a fan of the DNA. It's too close to the original to justify the price, but I think Interlude's an excellent masterpiece artistic fragrance. It's totally worth trying. There's nothing else like it out there, and it's worth giving it a chance if you're not repulsed by it. Feel free to comment with your opinions, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.